time over to our instructor, and I have started recording. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Hello, everybody. Hi, happy Sunday, last day of May. Can you believe it? It's so crazy. It's another hour of fun learning with Michaels and Faber-Castell. My name is Leigh Ralston, and I will be your instructor today. And I'm super excited to be here. As always, I love to teach. I love being surrounded by creative people like you guys. And I can see where everybody is from. Thank you for the shout out. Hello, everyone. I am recording live or broadcasting live here from Northwest Arkansas area. And it's a beautiful day outside. It's a beautiful Sunday. It's perfect for learning. And I'm super excited. We're going to scooch over to the overhead so we can get this class started. Okay, shall we? Whew, okay. Here we go. Wow, 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 wow. We have everybody here. I hope you guys are having a beautiful Sunday. I know that I am. Like what I said, it's a beautiful day outside, and I'm super excited to go over this class with you. I do hope that you'll find this class inspiring, and I hope that you'll be able to take a lot with you once we are done. Okay, so if everybody can hear me, I'm going to get started. So for today's class, I will be using items from the creative lettering of Faber-Castell. This is a very wonderful set. I do have some of the things out already, but I just want to quickly show you. We'll go through it and show you what's inside. To be completely honest with you, when I opened this kit, I couldn't believe what's included. Everything that's included in this kit is just super fun. So you'll get some stencils in here. You can get like page flags. You'll get some frames, super fun shapes in here. You have your banners, you have your page flags, and then you'll have frames like this. And then you will get pencil in 2B. You get 3 Pitt Artist pens in here. You get the silver in metallic. You have the brush, and then you'll have the S, or I've been calling this small. Is this slim, Krista?
So the S is super fine.
So super fine, there we go. And then we have the fine, the F, right? Okay, so we'll get super fine. We'll get the perfect, thank you. And then we'll have the brush and then the metallic. And then we'll get 2 gelatos. And I'm super excited to actually share with you how I use my gelatos, because if you are new to gelatos, I think you are going to really enjoy this class. And in this kit, look at what you're going to get. You are actually going to get this book, and it's going to teach you all about creative lettering. Explains to you the anatomy of a letter, and then you get samples of guides of different ways to write your lettering. You can do bold, you can do your brush script, you can do thin like this. So it is super fun. There's so many examples in this book how you can use everything that's included in the kit. So I'm super happy to share that with you today. Okay, so I've seen one of the questions asking if this class is going to be kind of like similar to bullet journal. If you are not familiar to bullet journal, it is actually a way of planning, a creative way of planning. And if you follow the original creator of the bullet journal, he teaches a lot about using the bullet journal to make your life more productive. And as more and more people doing the bullet journal, it's just evolved into many different, there's like different umbrellas of bullet journaling. Of course, you're still using it for your planner. At the same time, it's kind of like an art journal. Some are using it as a diary even, you know, where they document their daily activities or daily memories and stuff like that. So a bullet journal doesn't really have just a specific thing that it's going to do for you. It depends on it depends on you, how you want to use it. Well, to me, I have been doing bullet journaling and using it as a creative journal as well. So this one is just my sketchbook, and this one is my bullet journal. Let me just quickly show you guys what it is. So basically, I have everything in here, schedules. You can create trackers. And if you use the hashtag on social media, just bullet journal, there's a lot of inspiration that you can find. It's amazing. You can use any pens. You can start with one colored pen. You can use with many different colors, you know, so it truly is up to you how you want to use it. So don't get inspired, but also don't get too caught up with what everybody else is doing. I think that's one important lesson that we all have to learn, is that use examples online as an inspiration instead of it, you know, because sometimes the comparing our work to others, sometimes it brings us down. I know it does to me, you know, sometimes. So I try not to do that a whole lot. I just get inspired by what everybody else is doing, and I just do my own thing. So basically, you can create a calendar like this and then have inspiring words. And this is how I like to keep my bullet journal. I have so many quotes in here. I do a lot of doodles. And then at the same time, get reminder to be productive in my life with everything I have to do. I make lists. I make swatches of new pens. So you'll find here daily plans and daily things and stuff to do. Some weekly. So there's no rhyme or reason sometimes with everything that I'm doing in here. And sometimes people are like, so how do you really do bullet journal? I know it's confusing, but I say do what you want and put in what you need in there. Okay. All right. So today we're going to be learning about how to use the gelatos and how to be creative in your own journals, whether it's a bullet journal or it's just an art journal. I have been really enjoying using the gelatos, and I'm not going to lie. The first time that I got my gelatos, I was completely like, how do you use it? I mean, I was just, how can I use this? Okay, so gelatos are creamy pigment sticks that can be used and can be applied in so many ways. When I say many ways, I'm not kidding. It truly is up to you how you want to use these cute looking like lipstick thing. and it's just super fun. And so today I'm going to show you some of my favorite ways how to use the gelatos. So we're going to just find an empty space in here. So these are all gelatos, guys. Isn't that fun? So this is also gelatos. And then the one that I showed you here, these are all gelatos as well. Okay, so let's have a clean page like this. Gelatos, you can apply them directly into your page, just like, and it's going to give you this texture, kind of like crayons, like that. And I'm just going to zoom in real quick so we can really see it up close, so you can see the textures and all that. Look at that. You can get these, it's like crayons. It's fun. I love doing some mark making in my notebook. And really just as simple as that, to me, that's art. So you can apply it directly like that. You can also get a dish. If you have some of this, I think this one is part of a kit also. So this is from Faber-Castell as well. So you can just apply your gelatos here, directly here in this dish, like that. And you can use a water brush to pick up the pigments of the gelatos, like this. And then you can use it as a watercolor, like that. So if you want that washed look, not super saturated, but just very lightly, you know, light colors on your pages, you can definitely apply it this way. And of course, it's going to depend on your paper. This one is a very nice quality paper, so it can hold water, even though it's not a watercolor paper, because it's thick, it can still hold a little bit of water, just as long as you don't have any puddles in here. So as you can see, you can create like bold strokes like this, but in a watercolor effect as well. Another way that I like to use gelatos is that if you can actually pick up the colors directly from the stick like this. So if you have a water brush, so just pick up your colors this way and then start coloring like that. And always remember that the more water you use, the more that you're diluting those pigments in there. So if you want saturated color, then use less water. Okay. Actually, Nina, I am using water in a Leuchtturm. I love saying Leuchtturm. I love saying Leuchtturm brand, but I do use a little bit of water in the my Leuchtturm notebook. I'm going to stop now, but that notebook, you can actually use a little bit of water, just as long as it's not, you don't have that puddle of water in there. Okay, so that's 3 ways already, right? So we've applied it directly. We applied it in a dish like this and pick the colors up, the pigments, and use it as a watercolor. We can actually pick up directly from these. And also, I love using blending brushes. Okay, so when I say blending brushes, it's like this. There's many different brands out there that you can use, but this is super fun to use. So I'm just really picking up those colors on the pigment from the gelatos like that. Okay, and I'm going to start blending in like this way. See, like that. This is a fun way to do some blending and some background for your notebook and your journals. You can use it for your bullet journal. And also a fun way to use this is to use some stencils. So I have some stencils here from Faber-Castell. Let's just pick one up, and then I'm going to use this one. So just so you can see what it's going to look like when you're using this blending brush with your gelatos. And then you can create some ombre or some gradients. So if you have a washi tape, you want to washi tape your stencil so that it will hold in place, or you can just hold it like this. And a little color goes a long way. Okay, and then I'm gonna go, oops, that's why you use a washi tape. And then I'm just gonna pick up the gold. And of course, if you'd like a different brush for a different color, you can most definitely do that. I'm just gonna do this, okay. And then apply it like this. Super fun. And then you're going to see what it looks like. It's like this gradient from gold and this beautiful bubblegum pink color. And this is what I love to do when I want to do some lettering. I like to create some backgrounds first using the gelatos. Look at that. So you have this beautiful background like that. This is super fun. Okay, so another, and I think this has to be my favorite way of blending the gelatos. And I discovered this very late. I was late in the game, but better late than never. Okay, so I love to apply the gelatos directly also because of some of the textures that I get from it. But if you want a smooth, here, hold on. If you want this smooth and no texture, you don't want to see those crayon texture of your gelatos, you can still apply it directly like this. Okay, so I'm just applying, no, not overthinking, and just applying. And I'm just going to use a baby wipes. Any brand will do. You see Mickey and mine. So I'm just using a baby wipes. Okay, and then I'm going to wrap my pointer finger like this. And then you're going to just apply it. In the beginning, I have heavy hands, naturally heavy hands. So try to be a little lighter when you're doing your blending so that you don't ruin the texture of your paper. So that you're only just picking up the pigments and really just moving them around and just blending them around. Because sometimes when when I'm not careful and when I'm not mindful with my strokes, I end up ruining the paper. You know how it is, the surface of that paper. I ruin it by applying too much pressure when I'm blending. So just be mindful of your pressure. Just go lightly and just start blending your colors. And so you created this beautiful gradient and it's super smooth. Another question that I get asked when I'm using gelatos is that, can you still use your Pitt Artist pens on top of that? And my answer is yes. I only have a hard time with my Pitt Artists on top of the gelatos if I'm using the XS or the, Krista, a little help. The
extra super fine.
There you go. Extra super fine. So that's only when I'm having trouble writing on top of it. Maybe because I have too much heavy hand pressure, and it's like, but I don't have any trouble with the super fine like this. See, and then you can use metallic on top of it. So let's get the silver that's part of this kit. Like that. And to be completely honest with you, that's why I love creating the background with the gelatos, because when I use the brush pen on top of this gelatos, I am super happy with how smooth my surface is. And that means I'm not hurting the nib of my brush pen. I'm actually, my brush pen is thanking me so that my surface is not scratchy or toothy, you know? So when you want to write here, it just glides. It's like butter. It really is super, super smooth. So when you use your brush pen on top of this, your Pitt Artists, you're just going to love it. That's why it's like sometimes when I create lettering without the gelatos, it feels so different now without it. It's like I always grab my gelatos just so I can have a smooth surface on top of my paper. So if you're using like a not an expensive notebook, then if you've used gelatos on top of that, I think you'll be very happy with the result. Okay, so let's do a little bit of another example how you can use this. And this one, I'd like to remind everybody that the more you use your art supplies and the more you play with them, you're going to experiment. You're going to find out ways that, oh, I can use it this way. I didn't know that, you know, so play with them. Don't leave them in your storage. Just pick them up and start playing. Okay, this is a jelly press, okay? You can find this at Michael's as well. And then I'm using a brayer. I am going to, you can apply your gelatos in a separate dish like this, if you'd like. Do it like that. And if you have a water mister, just do it like this. And then you don't have to have the jelly press. You can just get a small brayer like this, pick up your gelatos like that, the pigment, and then just start making marks in your notebook. So I'm just picking up that gelatos. I sprayed water in the gelatos so that I can activate the pigment, and then just picking up these colors and just using my brayer to spread the colors in my notebook. And then you can use that as your background. And it just, when you're using the brayer, it just has this different texture. So Why do you need all these? You don't really need all these, but it's super fun to have it because the more you have, the more you can experiment and the more you can play around. And then you'll find out things. It just gives you different results each time. And it's just super fun. Really, the baby wipes that I use is just from Huggies. Huggies. Okay, so this one, we're just gonna let this dry for a little bit and you're gonna see the textures later. You can, now gelatos are water soluble, but they are also waterproof once they dry. So you have to let them dry. And one thing that I always say is that if you're going to use the gelatos in your journals and your planners, make sure to blend them. Because if you just apply them directly like that, if you don't smudge them, you can actually use your finger. I forgot to mention that. You can apply your gelatos and just smudge it with your finger. You can do that as well. But if you blend it, it's going to, if you don't blend it, I'm sorry, if you don't blend it, sometimes it stays in that creamy consistency. So unless you just let it air dry for a long time, then you have no problem with it. But I always just love to blend my gelatos, whether using my hands, my fingers, or using the baby wipes, or you can actually use some sponge as well. So these are just regular regular sponges, makeup sponges. And I love to use them as well. And I have a bowl of water in here. And I'm just going to just moist this sponge like that. And this is almost dry already. And so you can just apply your gelatos in here. And this is good for like mark making. I love mark making in my journals. You see? So you can use this. You can pick up the colors directly from your gelatos and just have this like really, it's super smooth texture. So as you can see, there are many different ways you can use the gelatos and you get different results by using and trying different ways of applying it. So you get this smooth gradient, you can get the textured look, you can use your brayer, you can use a baby wipes, you can use water, you can use your finger, and you get different results each time. And it's just super fun. Okay, so when I am using my bullet journal or a journal, I want to teach you something. We're going to create a pattern today. And for this pattern, I don't know about you, but I love animal patterns. I love a good leopard, a leopard print. I love that. And so today we're going to create that. It's in this notebook, I believe, this. So we're going to create this. Look at that. Today using your gelatos. So if you don't have the gelatos, I think I've seen someone that doesn't have it. You need to get it, but you can use, if you have like watercolor pencils or watercolors, you can use it today. But I do hope that you'll take advantage of the Memorial Day sale, Michael's. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna use pink and gold, and we're gonna use the brush pen of the Pit Artist. This one, I don't want you to overthink it. Basically, we're going to create very close to an oval shape. So I'm just going to, like that, apply it like this. Let me just zoom in so you guys can see much better. Yes, the gelatos will dry out eventually, but it will not affect, I got this question too, but it will not affect how you can use your gelatos. You can still use them even if it dries out. So you just apply them this way. So I'm just creating like oval shapes. So if you have your pencils right now or your markers, just start applying your first color and create this like oval shapes like this. Be mindful of your spacing because we're going to use another color as well. So I just have like a big space in between. So I have a space for my pink color gelato. I love this gold champagne color. I use this all the time. It's a perfect accent for another color. There we go. And then we're going to use the pink one. I'm just going to apply it right here. Okay, be mindful of your pressure. Don't, just be smooth about it. Like that. Put it this way. Have space in there. And this is super relaxing. Just the motion of you applying colors into your page. Oh, this is super fun. It is super relaxing to me, and I hope that you're relaxing there as well on your end. So now that we have our gelatos, what you can do is you can use your brush pen and just kind of blend them. Sometimes I'm having a hard time using the baby wipes just because, like what I said, I have heavy hands. So sometimes I end up with too much of a smudge, but I'm going to try and be careful today so I can show you that it's doable. But you can always use your brush pen to also blend your gelatos. Maybe it's a better idea to use that. But when you use too much water, you lose the opacity or the saturation of those pigments. So I'm just trying to be very mindful of how much blending I want to do because I really want to get that gold color. But if you feel like you don't have enough color, you can always reapply your gelatos like that. Or to be honest with you, you can also just not blend it too much as well because we're going to use the Pit Artist to create those borders around these shapes to create the leopard patterns. I'm just trying to be careful and blending very softly. Here we go. All right. I smudged that too much, see? Just gonna do this. Add a little bit of gelato in there. Just do that. There. I'm telling you guys, you're going to get hooked with the gelatos because you can use it so many different ways. It is super fun and crazy. I want to get all the colors as well. So, okay, so now with the Pit Artist pen, we're going to use the brush. If you've missed our class just a couple of days ago, it is available on Michael's YouTube channel. You can check that out. Also, if you visit Michael's Facebook page, you'll be able to watch the video in there, the class. We talked about the brush lettering. So it was all about the brush pens of the Pit Artist. So this is what I'm going to use today. To use the brush to really have fun with this marker or the brush pen of the Pit Artist, it is all about the pressure. So if you apply pressure, you're going to get a thicker strokes. If you apply less pressure, you're going to get a thin stroke. And let me just show you real quick before we proceed. So light pressure, you get a thin stroke. If you apply pressure like this, you get a thicker stroke. And so if you are new to brush pens, I highly recommend watching some of our past class because you're going to learn a lot how to use the brush Pit Artists. Okay, so if I apply light pressure, I'm going to get thin. If I apply heavy, then I'll get thicker. Okay, I'm saying that because we're going to create this leopard looking pattern, and it's really going to look great if you have a different variety of width of your strokes. So for example, so now to create this leopard pattern, what we need to do is basically a C. So whether it's from the left to the right or from the right to the left, but notice how I am really applying pressure on my Pit Artists so I can get that thick stroke like that. And then you can just pick it up from here and then just do another one here. See? So thin, light, apply pressure so you can get a thicker stroke. Adjust that like that. You can also think of this as an open circle, imperfect oval. But this is all we're going to create. So try to practice that first before you do it directly into your journal. And that's one thing that I like doing also when I'm, you know, not certain of a specific technique. I like to practice and scratch paper first, or just have another notebook that I can practice. And then once I feel better about it, then I can do it directly into my journal. Okay, so now that we've practiced that, I'm going to go here, and we're just going to create that letter C enclosed in there. And then here also, notice that. So what you want to do is you don't want it to look so uniform. So you want to go, if you started here, then you want to do upside down letter C, or start from your left going to your right, like that. So you want it to look random. You don't want it to look uniform. And there's not going to be any wrong or right, because their prints are not the same all the time. So just play around. Remember to get those thicker strokes or the bold strokes. You want to apply pressure using your brush tips. One thing I love about the Pitt Artist pens is that they dry so quickly. I don't have to worry about smudges. So if you're a lefty, I think you're really going to love that. And also they are India ink, so they don't really bleed through, whether you're using, you know, I know thin notebooks like the Hobonichis, the Tomoe River paper, Tomoe River paper. Ooh, what's up, doc? And then the Leuchtturm as well has a very thin but smooth paper. So you don't have to worry about any bleed throughs when you're using your Pitt Artist pens. That. So you have some, if you notice, I have like smaller ones and the bigger ones. It just makes it super random like that. Ooh, I just love it when I like write on top of the gelatos because it's super smooth. Like that. I can't really see that, chat. Absolutely. You can use gelatos in many, many different ways. You can create cards. You can create this background as a pattern, you know, for someone, if you know, like my daughter is sassy. I know she's going to love this leopard pattern. she's like that girly girl. You can create your own background, just like an ombre. Using the gelatos, I think it's going to be really, really fun. And then you can use stamping on top of that. So always stay tuned and really look for classes, because we have lots of fun classes in store for you here at Michael's and with Faber-Castell. Okay, so this one, I just created a shape. It's kind of like a random shape too. So like that. Just make it like a puzzle. Think of a puzzle shape, but not with really corners and edges, more of a free flowing. So create that pattern or that shape, and then I'm just coloring in that. And then you want to create like longer ones like this. Now this one looked like a peanut, but it's all different. So we're just filling in those areas and the spaces that we have. So play around with that. Play around with the size. Just be random about it. Make some small, make some bigger or larger. You can definitely use this as a background for a greeting card. You can use it as a cover of a notebook. You can create your own pattern papers if you're a scrapbooker like myself. You know, if you love mixed media, then absolutely, this is fun mark making. You can definitely use this. What you can also do is use the pink and lay down the color at the bottom. Create a background color first, and then do the gold only and the black. So you see, as you can see, there's so many things that you can do. There's like so much ideas. It's like endless. You're going to be really just use your imagination. Okay, now I am going to be using the silver of the Pit Artist. This one has a 1.5 or a bullet tip. I love using the bullet tip because I get consistent lines or strokes each time. And also I get really controlled when I'm using this, because with the brush pen, you know, you will get many different strokes, not many, you get thin and thick by applying pressure. But when you're using a bullet tip or the other tips of the Pit Artist, other than the chiseled, soft chiseled, and the soft brush, you will always get consistent line or stroke in there. If you're using the extra slim or extra fine, super fine, so many different types, super fine, you get just the consistent. Extra super fine, fine, there you go. And then there's a medium as well. So you can add those metallic silver things in there, and it's just super fun. Now, if I'm going to use this as a kind of like a bullet journal page or just an art journal, and if I want to do a lettering for this one, I would do this myself. I want to create like, because we have the bottom, right? And then this one is missing something. Of course, it looks like it really is missing something. Now, for me to fill this up, if I'm going to create a lettering piece in here, a quote in here, I would create this imperfect oval shape and just apply my gelatos like this. And then we're going to use the baby wipes again to blend this one. So I'm going to go get my baby wipes, find a spot where there's still moisture in there, and just go lightly, and just going to go repeat that same way I applied the gelato. So I'm just going in circle like this. As you notice, I'm not going like this. So just because this is the look that I want, and I don't want to lose that pattern or lose that texture. And if you want more, if you feel like, okay, I want more colors in there, then you can just reapply the gelatos on top of that again. And then I'm going to repeat the same process. Again, go lightly. Be mindful of that pressure so you don't hurt the paper. Because remember, you have moisture in the baby wipes, so it's wet. So naturally, it will pick up that texture of that paper. But if you go smooth, then you're just picking up the pigments and you're just moving it around and you're just blending it. Okay, and then I'm gonna go use the gold as a border just to have this different look. If you're using this in your bullet journal, you can use this as your monthly view. You can use, you know, put in June and then put in your calendar. Oh, it's so pretty. Wow. All right. So yeah, you can use this with for your month overview. You can use June and then put in your calendar dates in there. That's super fun. Tiffany, really, when it comes to notebook, I'm not super duper picky about it. It just really depends on what you're going to use it. If you're going to use it as an art journal, I recommend getting, you know, a little heavy duty paper if you're going to use mixed media a lot, if you're going to do watercoloring. So it depends on the media that you're going to use. I do a lot of mixed media, so I really love using journals from Dilutions, because this is where I can really apply acrylic paints. I can use my gelatos, I can use my watercolors in there, and it's just, I don't have to worry about my paper being so thin. But if you want smooth paper, there's a lot of good. Rhodia notebook is good. You can get Rhodia pads from Michaels as well. So for example, I'm going to use this as a quote. And like what I said, I love having positive, affirmations in my notebooks, because I just love flipping through the notebook and looking at something that says, hey, you got this, or, you're doing your best. And I have so much of quote in there that inspires me, and every day that I need that inspiration. So let's say I love writing, you got this. I really do. So as you noticed, I'm using the brush pit artist now, and see how the thin and the thick line in there? Again, that's all about the pressure to create those thin and thick lines. And another tip that I actually failed to mention in the last class that we were doing, when you are using your pit artist or any brush marker that you're using, one of the mistakes that I was doing when I was just a beginner when it comes to lettering, I would letter like this. I would letter like I am writing. Okay, so when you're doing brush lettering or you're doing hand lettering, make it like one letter at a time. Don't be in a rush. Don't be afraid to lift your pen off the paper, because you're not going to write like this. So make sure to lift your brush pen, pause in there, pause in that one stroke, do your other stroke. If you have to lift it, pause in there, and then do that thinner stroke. So give yourself time, slow down, and just do it one stroke at a time. Okay, so so even when you're not doing a script and you're just doing a print, small caps or big cap letters, you can still get that thin and thick by just applying light and heavy pressure using your brushed nib pit artist. See how thick that stroke is? And then that is super thin. Here we go. You got this. Yes, you do. And then if you're going to use your gelatos to create your calendar, let's say, because this is a bullet journal, what I love to do is I love doing the watercolor effect. So I don't have this super opaque color, but I just have this very soft and washed look of the gelatos. You can create this by creating your own banners or headers is what they're called. Instead of buying a lot of stickers, you're actually going to save a lot of money by just being creative in your journals and using the supplies that you already have at home. These are just samples of what you can do. So whether you have like watercolors at home, you can create your own frames, banners, stickers, headers, by using your art supplies. You can create your own stickers, actually, if you like that. You know how we use like stickers to put in call so-and-so and do this so-and-so. We love using different shapes to highlight certain important events in our planners or in our journals. You can just create them like this. So you can create your own banner. I feel like it's super saturated, dark in my screen, but this is really washed look, but it's saturated as well. The gelato's like that. super fun. And then you can use the gold one. When I'm planning, I don't know if you guys can see, we'll be able to see here. I love having my plans in like in frames. For example, I have like this for the April, like a month overview like this. So let's just quickly look at this part. So if you have a monthly overview like this, you can create your own shapes. See how I have everything framed. So whether it's you have birthdays or you have to-do lists, I love lists. And I love that when I put in every single task in a certain shape, my eyes go directly to one. It's like it's not all mashed up together, because when there are sometimes when they're on a list like this, even though it's bullet or numbered, it's still kind of like super crazy in my eyes. But if I want something that's like, okay, I want my eyes to go directly into this shape, since they are individual, separated, it just tells you directly that, okay, here you have to do this, then this one, and then this one. And that's also how I like to plan if I have like a project that I have to work on. That's how I like to do my planning as well. It's kind of like a step by step, but it's inside a shape. And what tells me, it just gives me this, it's like faking my brain. It's like, for some reason, it's like giving since I'm an artist, or even if you don't have to be an artist, it's just the visual will just give you, it's not super crazy. Like, look at this one. It's a daily list. When they're not in a shape and they're just all over the place, and of course with my stickers and my doodles and all that, sometimes it gets overwhelming. But when I want something really just for planning and to be productive, I love putting everything in one of their shapes. So gelatos, markers, artist pens, watercolors are great to give you that visual. It will just give you this visual that your eyes will go into. So you can use this as a header. You can do it directly, or you can smudge it with your finger to have this different look as well. So there's so much that you can do. Like what I said, with the sample that I created, and you should get that worksheet as well, you can have something like this where you have everything in separate. But instead of writing quotes, you can use it in your planner and just add stuff in there, like your goals or special dates and important meetings and stuff like that. So as you can see here, this is just the gelatos, the pink and the gold, and we just added some mark making using the Pitt Artist pens, and we did some doodles and we did some letterings, and you can do this too. So instead of what I did in here and use it as my art journal, you can use it for your planner the same exact way that we created the patterns, and use it for your June overview. I hope that you'll try that because it's really fun. It's different. And it's also bold, and look at the bright colors. It just screams like fun, you know? The reason why I love to incorporate doodles in my planning is that because there's already a lot of tasks, you know, as a mother. You don't have to be a mom, but working person, or just important days, like if you tracking your medicine, tracking your children's activities, really, when you have a planner itself, but everyone is different, of course. Some people just like it clean and I just want my task in there. But if you're someone like me that I don't want to get overwhelmed with all my bills for this month, I might as well put a smiley face in there and, hey, and pay your mortgage here. But when I look at my journal, it's not overwhelming. I want to be a kid at heart, and I just want my stickers in here. I just want all colors in here. I want to doodle. I want to paint. I want to letter. Not only it gives me the creative moment where I can sit down and be in the moment, creating my plan for the whole week. Other than that, I'm also being productive, but at the same time, really enjoying myself, doing creative projects, and at the same time planning my life because if I don't plan it, no one else will. So I want you to pull out all your supplies, whether it's the gelatos, whether it's watercolor, and try to play in your journals, because it's only not good for your soul. It's also cheaper than therapy. This is my therapy. My art journal is my therapy. This is where I can be unique and I can be myself without the pressure of being judged. It's not going to be graded. No one's going to judge it, just myself. But use all your supplies and be creative in your journals. Try it. Let me know how you like it. If you don't have gelatos yet, I really do hope that this class was able to inspire you to use them, because if you were like me, I was also like you, that I was confused in the beginning how I can use my gelatos, but you've seen many different ways that we've used it today, and it was super fun. Don't be afraid to try new things. I think that's one good lesson to take from today, is don't be afraid to try new things. And experiment, use them, play with them, have fun with them, and let us know how you like it. If you've created something today with me, please don't forget to tag us, Michael's stores, Faber-Castell USA, and at Mommy Lay. I am online. You can find me there. I would love to connect with you. If you have any further questions, you can just send me a message, say hi, hello, send me your drawings or your doodles or your project today. I would love to see it. But until next time, everybody, please be safe, stay well, stay creative, and stay happy. Until next time, see you in the next class. Bye, everybody.